Greetings, everyone. How is everyone doing out there? Thank you so much for being here. Today is December the 15th. We are in 2024, the positive timeline. A lot of interesting events have been unfolding. As you guys know, it's all over the media, it's all over the alternative media. These drones, spaceships, unidentified flying craft coming out of the ocean, motherships, from speculation to thinking that it could be, our enemies, Iran, Russia, China, to this whole idea of a fake alien invasion. Well, what if I tell you that all of that is wrong? Okay. I'll tell you guys exactly what's happening right now in a bit, as reported by Commander Valiant Thor. But before I get to that, I do want to welcome everybody. Thank you so much for being here. And we are definitely living in some exciting times. Now, this is Sunday night. This is unusual for me to go live. As you guys know, I did make an announcement last time I went live that I was invited to a family gathering after so many years. That went really well. I just didn't speak politics, aliens, or religion. And I just kind of, blended with the typical conversation type of scenario. So everything went well. Other than that, for those that are new to my channel, thank you so much for being here. I am the author of those amazing books back there behind me, The Secret Government, Invisible Architects, and of course, Our Cosmic Origin, both which unveiled the secret history of the Earth and the galactic history and information that is needed in order to prepare for the coming changes as we shift into this new Earth reality. Both of those books are available on Amazon, of course, or through my website, ourcosmicorigin.com. Another reminder, guys, is that I'm going to be presenting at the Concious Live Expo this coming February, and I believe my presentation is Sunday at 10 o'clock Pacific time. So I would love for you guys to check out my new presentation. The name of my presentation is called Transmuting the AI Transhumanist Timeline and Co-Creating the New Earth. Any other announcements? Yes, I also want to extend gratitude for everybody that's been voting for me. I do read the comments, and a lot of you have been voting for me. Thank you so much, and I will continue to provide the link for those that haven't. Now, somebody in the comments said that you could actually vote for me more than once. Hopefully that's true. I don't know if that's possible, but if that's the case, I guess I'm going to vote for myself 100 more times. No, I'm just kidding. But for those that have not had a chance to vote, I will provide the link in the description. Just give me about 10 minutes after the live in order for me to put the link in the description so you could have access to the book awards and vote for Our Cosmic Origin. Any other announcements? I don't think so. I think you can get right into what's really going on, as a lot of people are, questioning. A lot of people are in a state of unsure as to what's happening, except for all of us that are awakened. We know for sure that it's not a negative thing. It has a lot to do with the veil that is lifting. It has a lot to do with the collective frequency rising. And it also has a lot to do with the final battle between the positive ETs, the negative ETs, and of course the Earth Alliance and the cabal. So with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and get started with the report that was actually given to me by no other than the horse's mouth himself, Commander Valiant Thor. So according to Commander Valiant Thor, for those who don't know who he is a commander from planet Venus. He was dispatched in the 1950s to meet with Eisenhower in order for them to begin the organization of what is known as the positive military programs, hence the plan as it resurrected with John F. Kennedy Sr. and so on and so forth. So there is a good book to read about Valiant Thor for those that are new to my channel. I know sometimes people ask me, well, what is this, Sarah? What is this, Sarah? You guys are like really, really new to this kind of content. So there is a book out there called Stranger in the Pentagon. Strongly recommended. So go out and read Stranger in the Pentagon. So that way, when I give reports from Commander Valiant Thor, you guys know exactly who I am talking about. So according to Commander Valiant Thor, in recent years, there has been a significant surge in sightings of unidentified aerial phenomena, commonly known as AUPs. It's not just drones, guys. We're also witnessing, saucers pretty much, and drones, of course, but which has been sparking a wide range of theories and speculations. Of course, among these, the idea that these sightings are preparatory stages for a staged alien invasion, as most would think, and I'm sure a lot of truthers out there are leaning and gearing towards this idea, which has gained tradition in some, of course, circles within our field. However, deeper truths about this phenomena have been revealed by sources such as Commander Valiant Thor and the Galactic Alliance. Commander Valiant Thor's insight suggests that what humanity is experiencing is not a harbinger of fear, but rather a reflection of our collective ascension into higher dimensions. So, according to Commander Valiant Thor, the increased visibility of UAPs and large motherships, it's not just these drones that are the sizes of cars and SUVs. We're talking about motherships. We're talking about craft that has been coming out of our oceans. For those that have known me, I did mention already that a lot of the alien races do have a lot of their bases within our oceans. So you have to consider all of that. All right, it's not just our secret government reverse engineered craft. We're also dealing with alien craft as well. That is coming from the Galactic Alliance. So apparently, the increase of these UAPs and large motherships, particularly those emerging from oceans and traversing our skies, is intrinsically tied to humanity's evolving consciousness. As a collective, humanity has transitioned into the fourth dimension. So that's a good thing, right? We are no longer as a collective in the 3D. Okay, so this is a state where our vibrational frequencies and awareness have heightened, enabling us to perceive phenomena that was previously hidden from our senses when we were all still in the 3D. Okay, we can't really, when we're in the 3D, we can't really perceive what's going on in the 4D, in other words. But now, as a collective, we are in the 4D. So that veil that the Bible talks about in other religious texts is finally dispersing. So all of these spacecraft have always been present. Okay, that's one of the things that he wants me to let you guys know. They have always been there. Okay, the evidence is in these, Da Vinci's historical paintings of the Mona Lisa, right? As well as earlier religious paintings where you see Mary Magdalene or Mary, the mother of Jesus, holding the child, and there's a huge spaceship behind her in the sky. So obviously, these crafts have always been there. It's just that they've been in the fourth dimension and above. So as a collective, humanity has finally transitioned into the fourth dimension, a state where our vibrational frequencies and awarenesses have heightened, enabling us to perceive this phenomena that was previously hidden from our senses. So the spacecraft have always been present, maintaining a watchful presence over the earth, but they are now visible because of humanity's expanded perception. Okay, this shift marks a pivotal moment in our spiritual evolution as we align with higher dimensional realities and open ourselves to the truths of the cosmos. So while all of these sightings are authentic extraterrestrial or interdimensional vehicles, some are our own governments. Okay, I'm going to make that distinction right now. The appearance of drones in the same context adds complexity to the narrative. So let's examine for a minute there what these drones are. Okay, so these drones, I mentioned it before, that the majority of these drones are actually scouting ships from the Pleiadian Starlink Enterprise. All right, they have always been there. Since the 50s, they have been spotted or sighted over military bases, as well as over nuclear facilities, for the very well reason of what? Neutralizing the nuclear plants. Okay, but some of these drones have also been back engineered, reverse engineered by our own military, the secret, military industrial complex. So drones do serve multiple roles in the unfolding of the drama that is taking place. Okay, some are tools used in military operations to study public reactions, and so some of these drones are actually being deployed by our own military just to see where the public is, to see how the public reacts to the UAP phenomena, right? Laying the groundwork for broader disclosures. And this is nothing negative, stop thinking that this is all going to lead, or this is the pre-stage before Project Bluebeam, fake alien invasion. No, that is nonsense. Okay, let me say this, and I've said this before. Project Bluebeam, the fake alien invasion, has been canceled. That timeline is no longer accurate, or at least it's not possible in our reality. So this experimentation that is happening right now, and I mentioned this 2 weeks ago. I don't know if you guys remember, but I mentioned that it's not just going to be happening in New Jersey; that it's going to be increasing. And I said this 2 weeks ago on my Saturday Live, or maybe even a week and a half ago. I said that this is just going to continue to increase as we go into January. And now they're seeing them worldwide. They're seeing them over Japan. They're seeing them over the Middle East. A lot of the European countries are having these sightings. Russia. So this is happening. It's a worldwide phenomena, in other words. So this experimentation, right, is part of a larger psychological operation designed to acclimate humanity to the idea of extraterrestrial life and advanced technologies, which is a good thing. Okay, which is a good thing. We, like I said last week, we are being prepared for first contact, guys. Consciously. Okay, so, however, not all drones are terrestrial in origin. All right, some belong to the Galactic Alliance. Right, I've already mentioned, according to the report from Commander Sirius Hatan of the Pleiadian Starlink Enterprise, some of these are scouting ships, which are rather small. So some belong to the Galactic Alliance, all right, serving as scouting ships, working in collaboration with positive military functions such as the Earth Alliance. So their mission is to neutralize and dismantle deep state operated technologies, including reverse engineered craft masquerading as UAPs, because even the deep state has had them, right? That was given to them by the Dracos, the negative reptilian aliens that have been dominating our universe for millions of years, but their time is up. So these operations are part of a covert yet critical effort to expose and disempower the hidden forces that have sought to manipulate humanity through fear and misinformation. So the Galactic Alliance and the Earth's positive military forces are literally engaged in what could be described as a covert Star Wars against the deep state's technologies. All right, let me repeat that again. The Galactic Alliance, in collaboration with the White Hats, the Earth Alliance, positive military forces are literally engaged in what could be described as a covert Star Wars against the deep state's technologies. And this needed to happen in order to what? In order to make sure that Project Bluebeam does not come to pass. Okay, so this battle is not waged with the intention of causing harm, but to secure freedom and sovereignty for humanity overall. So advanced galactic technologies are being employed to deactivate and neutralize the reversed engineered craft, right? I'm talking about, the secret UFOs that our military has developed within the private sector for over 80 years, including the triangular ones, the 3R3Bs, which are literally piloted by our own secret government. So that's what's happening right now, is that the Earth Alliance gave permission to the White Hats to use their advanced technologies to completely dismantle the reversed engineered craft and, of course, the advanced technologies that was given to the deep state by the Draco. So these efforts are integral to dismantling the manipulative narratives designed to keep humanity in a state of fear and disconnection. So the surge in UAP and drone sightings is not the ominous prelude to an alien invasion, okay? But a testament to humanity's awakening in Ascension. So these events reflect the shifting frequencies of our collective consciousness and the support of higher dimensional beings who have always been present to guide and protect us. So while the deep state's reverse engineered crafts and psychological operations aim to perpetuate fear, the Galactic Alliance and Earth Alliance work tirelessly behind the scenes to dismantle these threats and secure a brighter future for humanity. So, this is a time of transformation and empowerment where the truth of our place in the cosmos is becoming increasingly more clear, ever so more so. So basically, it is a combination of different things. So most of these drones, I would say the majority of the drones, are scouting ships. However, some of the drones are not scouting ships. Some of the drones are actually reverse engineered craft by our own military industrial complex. So there is you could say, a covert war that's taking place between the military, or what remains of the military industrial complex. Let's face it, their time was up. And it is now that, the White Hats are coming back into power. And it's also, so basically, it's a combination of different things. It's a secret covert war that's taking place using advanced anti-gravity aircraft, both by the good guys, making sure and neutralizing and dismantling the technologies of the cabal. And at the same time, we're seeing for the first time, now that the collective consciousness of humanity has increased to the next density, we are starting to pierce into their reality, into the galactic reality, rather. So that is actually a very good thing, my friends. So, each day, right, people stumble across this information. Some people are barely getting their feet wet when it comes to this. All of a sudden they had an awakening. They found out that everything that they've been taught in the educational system was false, that everything that they taught in organized religion was incomplete. Let's just call it incomplete, and so they're questioning things. Okay, so every day people stumble upon this information for the first time, and they get fooled into thinking that thousands of years of craft sightings are a government psyop. No, let me just remind you guys that the government, both good and bad, have only had this technology for the last 80 plus years. Okay, beyond that, all of the sightings that have occurred for thousands of years, as recorded in all those ancient paintings, including the picture of Mother Mary holding the child with a spacecraft right above her head in the sky, to the famous painting of the Mona Lisa by Leonardo da Vinci with the spacecraft behind her, as well as, and with every other painting. Okay, so apparently, they have always been here. Okay, the Galactic Federation, which is now known as the Galactic Alliance. Now, I have to clear this up because apparently there are still a lot of people in our community that are still channeling commanders from the Galactic Federation. Now, they probably had no clue that the Galactic Federation had reorganized into the Galactic Alliance back in 2021 when Anki Poseidon came back into our solar system and tried to hijack the fleets. And of course, he managed to seduce some of the commanders, but a great deal of the commanders refused him. And as a result of that, they did reorganize into the Galactic Alliance. So, they probably don't know that happened. So they're still calling it Galactic Federation. Okay. And there's nothing wrong with that, because I even talk about it in my book, Our Cosmic Origin, that the positive ETs are technically or organized into federations right across the many different galaxies, across the many different universes. So in terms of that, yes, the Galactic Federation has always been the positive interstellar associations of advanced benevolent ET races. Okay. But just so recently, within the last years, they are now called the Galactic Alliance. But it's okay. There are still people out there that refer to them as the Galactic Federation because of the fact that they have no clue that Enki was, trying to finagle things within the fleets of the Federation about 3 years ago. But so I understand, okay, that people are scared. Some people are scared of the unknown, okay? That is something that has been rooted deep within our subconscious mind. Things that have never been presented to us, things that are still kind of unknown, has always posed a threat to those that are unawakened. And yes, those that are unawakened, they are probably the ones that are probably panicking, when they see lights in the sky. But bear in mind that the collective consciousness is ready to hit what is known as critical mass. So these days, there is a tendency, you could say, to believe that everything is a lie, right? Many things are lies. The time, including the time that the biggest lie of all, Project Bluebeam, which I can't believe that there's some truthers out there that are still promoting Project Bluebeam or this possibility of a fake staged alien invasion. Well, let me just remind you guys that the Galactic Alliance has canceled that, and that they have given the positive military, the Y hat military, the technology needed in the event that, let's just say, they try pulling off the fake alien invasion. We do have the technology to neutralize that, and that's a good. So the cabal so the cabal has always feared the galactic, the Galactic Federation, Galactic Alliance, whatever you guys want to call it, right? This interstellar organization of over 200 billion star nations steaming from across the multiverse. Every galaxy where there's humans, where there are benevolent beings, positive beings, there are federations, right? I mentioned that in our cosmic origin. And so I just wanted to throw that out there because I know there's some of you that have not read our cosmic origin. I would suggest to order your copy of our Cosmic Origin so that you could understand the galactic history. In order to give you further in-depth understanding as to how things are unfolding now. So the Cabal has always feared the Galactic Federation's, hence alliance, the positive ETs. Let's just face it, right? They went ahead and leaked disinformation many times to trick the public about the good aliens, right? The GF, the positive Pleiadians, including the information that the Nazis had flying saucers back in the 1930s, and of course, bases on the moon and bases in Antarctica and across our solar system. Okay, so we're living in a time where all this is going to come out, and so that's what's happening right now. Is that as a collective, we are piercing through the veil. So the public, so in other words, the cabal has always, painted a bad picture, mentioning that all ETs, all interdimensionals are evil, okay? And then fundamentalist Christians even go further by stating that ETs are actually fallen angels, and that is not true, guys. You have, living in a dualistic universe, if there is dark, there has to be light, and vice versa, right? So if there are negative ETs, there are positive ETs, all right? So this is where I kind of wanted to engage in the Billy Carson Wes Huff, I think it's Wes Huff, right? Debate and let them know that they're both right. That the demons and angels in the Bible and that the Anunnaki and the old Sumerian texts are actually one and the same. You had positive Anunnaki, the angelic Anunnaki, which were the angels in the Bible. And then you had the negative reptilian Anunnaki, which were the demons in the Bible, okay? So, despite the fact that our government has always painted the idea that all extraterrestrials and interdimensionals are evil, right? Including the information that the Nazis had flying saucers, bases on the moon, and visited the inner Earth. It's all part of a psyops, guys. It's all part of a psyops to make us believe that everybody up there or everybody in these other dimensions, these interdimensionals, are all evil. Okay, that is not true. They've used organizations like NASA to hide the truth about the Galactic Federation crafts and their bases that are actually located throughout our solar system, mainly on Jupiter and, of course, within our oceans. Well, where do you think the craft that are coming out of our oceans are actually dispatched from? Where do you guys think they're dispatched from? Those are Pleiadian bases, guys. Those are Pleiadian bases that are deep within our oceans, right? It's like, put it this way. The Pleiadians have vast civilizations intact within our oceans, okay? So a lot of the craft that people see coming out of the water, those are the Pleiadians, among other races like the Aquiferians, okay? But these are benevolent races. So the truth is that the Cabal does not have the fleets of spacecraft and standby or the motherships that the positive ETs do, like the Pleiadians, okay? There are no humans flying in the TR-3Bs, okay? Those are all being piloted through artificial intelligence, by the way. So all of this was part of a psyops used against the disclosure movement to hide the fact of the Galactic Federation, which is now known as the Galactic Alliance. So apparently Project Bluebeam was a real plan, right? That was going to be part of a certain timeline, but that got leaked apparently many years ago to trick people about the positive ETs, but it was not realistic then, and it's much even less so now, okay? And like I mentioned, that timeline where they do fake an alien invasion was officially canceled, okay? So we don't have to really worry about that anymore. So Project Bluebeam, that was a real plan that got leaked many years ago to trick people about the positive ETs, but it was not realistic then, and is much less so now. So now there's internet. Now that we have the internet and cell phones, information travels instantly. Okay. And by the way, guys, I don't know if you guys knew, but even the internet was given to us by the interdimensionals, the extraterrestrials. Of course, DARPA used it for many years before it was handed over to the general public. So there is no way to sustain a deception of extraterrestrial threat. Okay, there is no way. The Galactics won't allow it. The White Hats have been given the technology that will not allow a fake alien invasion. The holographic technology that they were going to use to stage the fake alien invasion has been taken away from the cabal. Okay, and that is a good thing. So it could never be more than a controlled media, okay, event like we've just witnessed. Okay, there never needed to be real crafts involved, just stories coordinated by intelligence, military, and media. So the goal was to make you doubt that the positive ETs are here and to believe that perhaps a foreign adversary had this technology instead. I mean, some fake news sources are claiming that these motherships that they're seeing, right, which are deploying some of the scouting ships that are looking like drones. I've already mentioned it. Those are part of the Pleiadian Starlink enterprise. They're saying that these motherships were deployed by the Iranians from Iran, that they're here, that they're monitoring us, that they're getting ready to strike. That's all BS, guys. All right, let me just assure you guys. The government of Iran is so backward when it comes to, they don't even have basic, anti-gravity aircraft. What makes you think that they're going to be able to develop and engineer a huge mothercraft? We don't even have those mothercrafts, okay? Even within the positive military, we don't have, within Solar Warden, we did have long cigar-looking, the size of like 3 football fields. But those round circular crafts that are like the sizes of cities put together in one, yeah, we have not yet back engineered that. Let me just make that clear, okay? Those are literally the positive ETs, right? From the Galactic Alliance, hence Galactic Federation, whatever you want to call it, right? So the goal was to make people doubt overall that the positive ETs were here, and they have always been here, right, for thousands of years. In fact, the Anunnaki never left. All they did was just go into the underground, okay? So, and to believe that perhaps a foreign adversary had this technology instead. Extraterrestrials who are millions of years old won't be shot down by primitive weapons. That is the truth. So, in some cases, there were some reports that some of these drones were shot down, right? Guys, if these were, those drones that were shot down were from our own military, all right? The real drones, the scouting ships that were deployed by the Galactic Alliance, hence the Pleiadians, cannot be shot down. Do you think our primitive weapons could actually penetrate their shield? Think about that. Makes no sense. So the most important reason why Project Bluebeam will never happen is because the Galactic Federation, hence Alliance, will not allow it, okay? We're too close to the shift into the new Earth. And it would not serve a higher purpose for our soul plans if that were to happen. So the Pleiadians are ensuring us that there will be no nukes, all right, or fake alien invasions. There is no doubt that people will continue to call authentic craft sightings Project Bluebeam, right? That's why I don't even listen to some of the truthers anymore, because even Alex Jones was telling us, I don't know if you guys saw that 22-hour live on X by Alex Jones, but even Alex Jones is, telling people that this is the beginning stages of Project Bluebeam. I don't agree with that, right? Perhaps Alex Jones is not aware of the positive ETs, right? But this will not be their loss, okay? Good things are ahead of us for those that have hope. Okay, so that was a message from Commander Valiant Thor, as well as the Galactic Alliance. So there you guys have it, all right? There will be no fake alien invasion, all right? This is not the preliminary stage. This is not a test to see, to see how the public will fear the phenomena, because we're not fearing the phenomena. It turns out that the collective consciousness of humanity has risen into the fourth dimensional reality. So basically, now we are going to start experiencing more of this phenomena worldwide. Okay, and this is a good thing, because this is going to coincide with what's going to be happening in January and as we go into 2025, due to the new administration that is about to release all the documents, everything, all the classified information that they have kept from us under the DOJ and the secret government, whatever you want to call them, right? It's all going to come out, guys. It's all going to come out. And I do love, I'm looking at all the hearts, all the likes that are coming, that you guys are giving me. I'm seeing all the likes. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. For those that are new, don't forget to subscribe. And yeah, if you guys could share this information, this video, far and wide, in order to neutralize all of the fear porn that some other people are generating, that this is the preliminary stages of Project Blue being fake alien invasion. Guys, that's not going to happen, all right? People they just have no clue that how important this Earth is. They have no clue. So with that in mind, I do want to take some questions, but I do want to acknowledge some of you. So I see Wolf Mother in the house. Project Skyfalls is in the house. Who else is in the house? Claire is in the house. Simone S is in the house. Sylvia Vidal, Conspiratary, Lee Starr is in the house. MJF is in the house. Simone S, Nancy. Wow, the chat is going super fast. Oh boy. You know what, guys? It's very hard to read the questions. Give me about a minute. I'm going to go to my car and get my glasses. 1 minute. All right, guys, I am back. I have my glasses. I apologize for the delay, but I need my glasses in order to read the questions. Oh, wow, super chats. I guess I'll start with those first. So 333 Ascension Seeker, what is the meaning behind the Pope opening 5 portals for the first time in history on the 24th? Thank you. I'm not quite sure, but the double, the fake Pope, you could say the clone, was actually taken out. Now, let me just rephrase this. The real Pope was actually taken out back in 2021. The Pope that they took recently out about 2 weeks ago was actually the clone, was the second, the double, whatever you want to call it. So I don't even know what this means. I did hear about this. I'll look more into it and then I'll go ahead and answer it. But I'm sure it has a nefarious connotation, but I will get back to you with that. And then I do have a super chat from Anna. Anna Nasler. Will the ETs handle the disclosure of who we are, where we come from, and our true history? Well, yes. In fact, the ETs are definitely going to be validating the information in this book because everything that you just asked me in that super chat is all here, right? Who we are, where we come from, and our true history. It's all revealed in our cosmic origin. So the ETs are definitely going to confirm and validate the information in my book, and of course add to our true, history as well. Judy says, her last name is Judy Haim, says, I just received both of your books from Amazon, and I also voted for you. Well, thank you so much, Judy. I appreciate that. Oh, and as a reminder, guys, just this month alone, my classes, our Cosmic Origin is only $100, and that's for 4 classes. If you guys want to know the entire cosmic and galactic history, breaking down dimensions, advanced civilizations, commanders, it's a beyond. Okay, if you guys want to know about the Ascension basics, that's only 150, and then of course I have a new course, Ascension 2.0. Now that's regular price, but for those that have not taken our Cosmic Origin or Ascension basics, it's very discounted right now. So go ahead, go to my website or cosmicorigin.com so that I could see you in class. And again, the benefit of taking my course is that you guys get to chat with me in real time. It's not like this where I read your questions. It's actually on a Zoom call where I'm teaching and you're actually interacting with me and we are communicating on a Zoom. So it's a little bit more intimate, a little bit more, better than this. Cosmic Seal, thank you so much for the super chat. She says, how does the Mark of the Beast event sequence come into play? If it all still is, first, second wave of ascension is already happening, and timeline is moving toward higher states of consciousness already. All right, well, the best way to answer that is this. The Mark of the Beast is only taking place in the negative timeline, and that has a lot to do with the chip that is being developed by the negative Elon. There are 2 Elons, or 2 souls in one body, rather. But when the timeline split takes place, those that are going into the negative timeline, which are the wicked, are going to be ruled for 1,000 years by super artificial intelligence, the Ahriman Omega system. So, but at the end of the millennium, we are going to, bring justice to that and bring those people back to the light. But for those that go to the positive timeline, they're not going to experience the 1,000-year ring of the Antichrist, which is artificial intelligence. So that's going to be taking place at the timeline split. Right. So those that are on the positive timeline, we're not going to be, the Mark of the Beast is not even going to be a reality, in other words. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, this is a good question, and I'm going to go ahead and answer this question. It's actually more of a statement, but I do want to share it with everybody. This is good from White Light Healing. Some extraterrestrials refer to God as the Great Central Sun. How is the Great Central Sun connected to God, Creator, Source? Well, that is a very good question and a statement all in one. The best way to describe that is this. So everything in existence is a circle within a circle, right? So we have our planets revolve around our star. So we could say that in our neck of the woods, our sun is the structure, or you could say, or the source of energy that gives life on planet Earth, right? But at the same time, if we go deeper, we also have the great central sun at the center of the galaxy, which is what's sustaining the billions of solar systems that are revolving around the galactic core. So that, in a sense, it's also another projection, or you could say a point of consciousness of God. And then in turn, um, our universe has a central sun in which galaxies revolve around. So that's another point projection or consciousness of God. And then in turn, our super universe has a colossal super sun in which many universes revolve around. So that's another representation of the universal life sustaining energies that are coming from the central suns. So, in other words, the central suns, all the way to the motherverse, where the original central sun exists, the mother central sun, is where is that it is the thing that is sustaining all life forms. This is where we get our consciousness, universal life force, the ability to sustain life, energy, vibration. So, in that regard, yes, the central sun, the great central sun, is considered the focal point of the mind of God. Also, in terms of knowing that everything in creation is sentient and alive, right? We live in a conscious world or earth, in a conscious universe. Our galaxy is a sentient being. So everything is alive. So the central point is where you could say the consciousness of the logos exists. That's the best way to describe it. So yes, the central sun and all the stars are focal points of universal life force that sustains life. So we could say, yeah, they are pretty much representatives of God's source consciousness. Absolutely. What will 5D feel like physically and mentally? This is a question from Samina. Samina Sidqui. Um, well, just the best way to describe that is just imagine all your dreams coming true, everything that you ever decided for, right? You living your full purpose, your full potential, living in your best version of yourself. That's what 5D is like. That's the best way to describe it. Oh, apparently our Cosmic Origins course is fully booked. Uh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. So yeah, seating is limited, guys. Seating is limited. So Ascension Basics is still available. I believe I still have a few spots left. No, I don't have access to my Mount Shasta presentation. I apologize, Sylvia. I don't know what happened to that recording. But again, if you guys want to see me in person and hear my new presentation, I would suggest visiting me at the Conscious Live Expo and attending my workshop Sunday at 10 o'clock Pacific time. All right, so some of you are asking me about the solar flash. Okay, it's actually an internal event that's going to trigger the sun. Okay, it turns out that there are 12 or 13 individuals on this planet who are going to be activated, and their activation will trigger the solar sun, the solar flash. So, in a way, it is an internal event that is going to precipitate into an external event. It so happens first from within, right? It first happens inside, and then it ripples into the outer world. So that's how the solar flash is going to happen. Oh, your body is well. No, Evelyn Diaz is asking me. Hello, Ishmael. Our body will realize when the solar flash begins. Oh, yes, you will know. Absolutely. No, your fourth and fifth bodies will no longer have addictions. Will we be taking our clothes with us, pictures, personal belongings? Um, Probably not. That's all 3D. How are we to breathe on other planets? That's a good question. Well, you have to understand that our fourth dimensional avatar, or rather our fifth dimensional avatar, is capable of breathing in atmospheres that don't have oxygen. Okay, so we could breathe in space. We don't need spacesuits. We could breathe in a methane environment. We could breathe, in fifth dimensional reality, things are not like very limited, like in a carbon based reality where we need oxygen to breathe. So fifth dimensional reality gives us the freedom to actually, uh, you know, be able to breathe in other atmospheric conditions as well. I'm looking for really good questions. We're looking for really good questions. Not to say that your questions are not really good, but some of these questions I cannot answer. Unfortunately, I have to be careful with what I say on the internet. Let's see. I do have a super chat from Lorraine Lewis or Levis. Lorraine Levis. Will the governments use the ramp up in fear porn speed by the media to push a lockdown to try and stop Trump from taking office? No, I don't think so. The Earth Alliance will not allow that. Neither will the Galactics. Trump is meant to come into office. In fact, he's going to be serving his third term. He's always been CIC, right? So, if so, is this the lead into the EBS? Um, okay, let's just put it this way: in the event that they try something, well, yeah, definitely, the White Hats would have to, you know, e- execute an emergency broadcast system. Absolutely, at that point. But I don't think they could anymore. I don't think they could. I think that the White Hats have a clear. Um, I believe that they're. The best way to describe it is that I believe that they have a clear chance now to bring forth a disclosure. Excuse me. How was your time with family? It was great. As long as I didn't talk about politics, aliens, or religion, it was fine. We just kept the conversations very superficial. How's that? Very superficial. How much of the humans are awake right now? Well, that's a good question. Um, I would say that it's probably about 15 to 16%. It's almost at 20%, which explains why, as a collective, we've already moved into the fourth dimension. What are your thoughts on Claudio Nocelli saying that we live under a dome? Thank you. Well, that's part of the flat Earth psyop. in order to discredit the fact that we live in in a universe teeming with life, that that there are many different solar systems out there, many galaxies. It's also designed to debunk the secret space programs. So you have to understand that the flat Earth theory and the idea that there's a dome was a psyops, so that people will not investigate the secret space programs. Are there any Venusian people living here? Can we be from Venus? Well, the first part of your question is yes. There are Venusian colonies on Earth, absolutely, in the inner Earth. And can we live on Venus? Yes. Once we ascend into our fifth dimensional bodies, we will be able to live on any planet in our universe. Excuse me. So this is Nisi Posamatic. Nisi Posamatic is asking me, if the firmament isn't real and the Earth isn't flat, can you explain your interpretation of it? Well, it's the way energy works. It's like a funnel, right? Everything in our existence is a sphere. So the Earth is a sphere with a magnetic pole and a magnetic south. So it is spinning, right? Like a funnel. It's the way energy moves. So in a flat Earth concept, there is no funnel. There is nothing spinning. Everything is stationary. So also according to the hermetic principles, everything in existence is always in a constant state of motion. Everything is moving. So everything is spinning. Planets revolving around stars. Stars revolve around the galactic core. The galactic galaxies revolve around the great central sun of our universe. Universes revolve around super universes, and so on and so forth. It's just the way energy works. That's the best way to explain and debunk the flat Earth psyops. So yes, we are also toroidal fields. We have a Merkaba, right? We have a light body that is generating energy through the chakra system. You're all welcome. You're all welcome. Janet is late. She's asking, what about the drones? Well, I've already talked about the drones. You might have to watch the replay. For everybody that just got on here, I just wanted you guys to watch. Don't forget to watch the replay, so you guys get the full download from Commander Valiant Thor and the Galactic Alliance. And also, as a reminder, guys, I will be putting the link for my book. If you guys could vote for my book for the book awards coming up in February at the Los Angeles Conscious Live Expo, I will provide the link in the description. And what else? What else? Yeah, that's it. Is Trump a time traveler? This is a question from Rose Payne, and the answer to that is yes. Yes, his uncle, John Trump, and Nikola Tesla were the first ones to develop time travel technology before the cabal did. So, yes, the Trumps have been time traveling since 1915, 1918. Lisa Anderson is saying, could you please pass on my information to one of the Pleiadians? I am ready to go home and they need to come pick me up. Seriously. You know, Lisa, a lot of star seeds are in your position. Um, they have had enough. You know, they don't want to be here anymore. They don't want to be part of the Starseed Envoy program. They want to go home. So, but the point is to bring heaven on earth here to this realm. And that's why we're here. Will the new technologies be regulated, or will I be able to make an anti-gravity go-kart? They will be regulated, absolutely. And I think for those that go into the fourth dimension, you will have a spacecraft or anti-gravity aircraft. Now, for those that go into the fifth dimension, you're actually going to be able to use your own internal software and use your own Merkaba or your own live body to travel. You won't need a external, machinery. I do have a super chat from Lorraine Lewitt. I think I've already read this one. Will the governments use the ramp up fear porn? No, I've already read this one. Okay, let's see. Cosmic Seal. Are there areas of Earth that are safer for start seeds to reside during the shift? No. We are where we are because that's where we're meant to be. That's part of your contract, right? You're bringing in source light, source energy into that part of the Earth. So when the shift takes place, we could open up the portals evenly worldwide and shift the good people of the Earth. Reports are emerging about drones sightings about White Peterson Air Force Base in Ohio, or Wright Peterson Air Force Base in Ohio. Well, like I said, I mentioned it. I don't know if you guys remember, but last week or a week ago, or a week and a half ago, I told you guys that the sightings were only going to increase, and this is what's happening now. So I did give you guys a heads up, right? We're going to start seeing this more and more as we get closer to 2025. Hello, Ishmael. Do you have any idea who are the 13? I have a feeling I'm one of them. As Osiris, thanks for everything. This is a question from Renee Velasco. I've already met 7 or 8 of the 13th. I'm yet to meet the other 4. But yeah, you could be one of them. Anybody here could be one of those 13 individuals where it's going to be an internal event that is going to trigger the outer event. Absolutely. It could be any of you. Lorraine Lewis, thank you for your super chat. How do you think Trump will bring in Sarah and finally have our money system changeover? Um, Good question. Well, what's going to be happening is that the stock market is going to crash. Oops, I shouldn't say that here. We're going to be witnessing the collapsing of the old fiat system very, very soon, and that's going to give Trump a reason to bring in the new financial system. Look at all this paperwork. My office is getting a little messy here. I have papers everywhere and books too. Yes, I also look forward to traveling the universes, just like stated by Kathy Kirk. I think it's going to happen all at the same time. This is a question from Licia Anderson. Ishmael, are we waiting for full disclosure to ascend? I think it's all going to happen at the same time. It's already happening. Again, ascension is an internal job before it becomes an external. So some of us are already ascended mentally, right before our body follows. Do you know about the GFL station, which means Galactic Federation station? Are they accurate? Yes, they are very accurate. They do exist, and they have stations. Um, some of their stations are actually inside the ocean, all right, and then some of them are inside the inner Earth. And I don't think that they have open stations on the surface world, though. However, they do share a station with the White Hat military in Cheyenne Mountain and other mountains as well. That's all I'm going to say. So some of their stations are hidden within mountains. That's the best way to say it. Ishmael, how were these seven you've already met? Oh, the seven, you mean the seven out of the 13? They actually reached out to me. Ishmael, is there any Tartarians still living among us? That's all I'm going to do is I'm just going to nod my head. Yes. Andromeda Daisy says, "Are the 13 the archangels?" Yes, they are, and we are here in human form. It could be any of you also. So they are good. The 13th are the ones that are going to trigger the solar flash for the 144,000. Hence, the remaining as well. Yes, thank you for the reminder, Edward. I don't have a tissue. Maybe hopefully this one's clean. But yeah, I shouldn't be rubbing my eye with my dirty finger. That's how people get pink eye, right? Where does Krishna originate from? This is a question from Keepsakes Conversations. He comes from Lyra, from the Vega star system. That's where the original blue humans came from, which again appeared as gods to the ancient Indian culture. Ishmael, speak about Joseph and Mary, please. Well, Joseph was, believe it or not, Joseph was Saint Germain, and he was assigned to Mary in order to protect the child Jesus. And Mary was the reincarnated, a fractal of the oversoul of the Mother Goddess. A fractal of that oversoul incarnated in Egypt as Isis, and then another fractal came back as Mary, the mother of Jesus. So there is a correspondence there between Isis and Horus. Horus was like, to the Egyptians, he was the Christ, the restorer, right, of the golden age after it was taken over by Seth, his evil uncle, which is symbolized in the movie The Lion King. And then in Christian traditions, the story repeats with Mary being the one giving birth to the Christ. So it's the same, meaning, same symbology, different timing. Yes, I actually thank you for the reminder, Edward. I will be bringing back my brother Tim. I'm going to actually reach out to him again as a reminder. All right, guys. I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your evening, and I will see you guys, I guess, tomorrow night for a Monday night Y Hat update. All right. Have a wonderful evening.